Welcome back to the Smoke Dungeon, y'all. Today, we're kicking it old school like it's 1992, and we're going to look at Battle for Armageddon, a classic Games Workshop chit game. But more particularly, we're going to look at White Dwarf 151, which not only had the designer's notes by Jervis for this game, but it also included this snazzy thing for the Chaos War. That's right, the first battle for Armageddon with Angron and Chaos, right? We had some crazy counters and stuff in here that you could photocopy, right? Well, guess what? DB has done thusly. And so now we're going to play, all right? I'm going to go through the game rules real quick. Super easy, y'all. Super easy. It's like a lot of these games. You're going to have your pieces. In this case, light blue is the Imperium, with gray for Space Wolves and Gray Knights. On the other side, we have Chaos. Black is going to be Khorne. Pink is Slaanesh. Tzinich is blue, and Papa Nurgle is green. All right, y'all. Each counter is going to have 3 numbers. It's going to have an attack, a defense, and a movement. All right. When you attack, it's stack to stack. You can attack multiple stacks into one stack, but they have to be of the same chaos faction or denomination, whatever word you want to use, power. So you can't mix Khorne and Slaanesh, etc., etc. So I've already set the game up. It's actually super easy. The setup instructions are going to be right here on this snazzy dazzy card, right? Super easy. Also, can be found our sequence of play, reinforcements, victory conditions. Now, this game is originally with orcs, so there are 1 or 2 slight rule changes in here. For this Battle of Armageddon, like I said, you have the Space Wolves, and that's instead of the Ultramarines, Salamanders, and Blood Angels, I think, in the orc version. Obviously, there are no orcs. Other than that, the game is essentially the same. On your turn, what you will do is there will be a strategy phase where you will select 2 cards. These are going to be how you determine what you do on your turn. They will have 2 words, combat, movement, combat, movement. You see, I've selected the same for the chaos for the first turn. But there are others, combat and combat, building and movement. Building is reinforcements, y'all. Movement and combat, movement and combat. So what happens is, the Chaos or Orc player will pick 2 cards. The Imperial player will pick 2 cards. You will dice off for initiative. Whoever wins initiative will play 1 card and carry out both of those actions. Then the next player will flip his first card and carry out both of those actions. Then back to the player 1, then back to player 2. At the end, you check for victory conditions. In this version, I believe the victory conditions are the same as the Orc one, which is you have to destroy 3 of the 5 hive cities, which we have Hades up here. We have Acheron there. Tartarus. Hell's Reach with no Black Templars. And then Infernus. Board clearly defined squares, right? Terrain is up here. It lists your terrain, and it can also be found on the front of this card. Super easy. Ash wastes are like these moonscapes, y'all. When you move into them, you got to stop. These tan ones are normal. Mountains you can't move into. When you attack across a river, if everybody is attacking across a river, you subtract 1 from your die roll. That's actually pretty important. And that being all the chaos shit starts on one side of the river here. The river Styx. So it all starts there. So on turn 1, it's all going to roll 1, subtract 1 from its attack die. Which in the original version of the game with the orcs actually get a +1 on the first turn. So it kind of cancels out. But in the White Dwarf article here, which has all our rules for this version, it does not list any of that stuff. And it specifically states the first turn surprise rules do not apply in this campaign, as the Imperial forces are well prepared for the chaotic invasion, y'all. That's right, an invasion. So you can attack to an adjacent square, right? I said that. How do you attack? You add up your attack numbers, and then you add up the defense numbers, and then you find a fraction, right? You get your combat ratio. Attacker versus defense, roll a die, check the table, boom, bang, boom. There is one odd thing in this table, and that is the defender withdraws and the defender routed appear to be mixed up, one would think. The probability of them occurring is the same because it's one particular number, but you would think they would just kind of scale up, but they don't, weirdly enough. And I don't know if that was ever addressed. You know, I used to play this game all the time. Haven't played it in quite a while, but I got it out to play with the kiddo because I think it's good. He's doing fractions and stuff, division, you know, all that second, third grade type shit. And I feel like this is a good way to practice. Plus, we get to play some games, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, without further ado, everything is set up, ready to rock. There's a little bit variable setup in the Imperial one, in that there are certain units that you can place wherever you want. And I have done that. Like I was upside down, y'all. Like I said, I have done that. And the same with the chaos. You can start the chaos up anywhere, and chaos starts with all their stuff. You will see that this line, each one of these starts with a border defense guy who's just like a wall dude. If he has to retreat, he dies because he doesn't have a movement. And then each one of these has a fortification, which means they're going to double their defense. So it's going to be kind of crazy. Also, each side has a deck of like 6 special cards. And these are just things that, you know, one-time things that you can do. So you'll draw a new one of those every turn. The game is to 8 turns. And I'm trying to think. Oh, there's supply. So if at the end of your turn, you cannot trace it, the Empire, or the Imperium, the Empire, Jesus. Get my whole world in with my 30-some K, because I guess this is, or no, this would still be 40K, because it's like 500 years before current thing or whatever. Who cares? I don't even know. Let's just roll some dice and move some chits. But these are the supply markers. Basically, you have to be able to trace a line back to the hives. The chaos use the orc ones, which are in the jungle. You know what I'm saying? So let's cut the bullshit. Let's roll some dice, dude. I'm going to play both sides because, you know, DB's a sado. So, like, have at it. I'll probably hit the camera with my head. I'll probably utter some things that offend you, or maybe not. Who knows? I'm just going to roll with it down here in the dungeon for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, you dice off for initiative, but I think that's kind of hokey. I want the chaos to go first, so I'm just going to go chaos first. And they're going to reveal their first thing, which is they're going to do a combat, and then everybody can move. So when I do combat, technically the dudes do not move in there when you attack. They're attacking adjacent squares. So I just kind of like push them close. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to start right here. We're going to push these dudes and these dudes into there. Also, the rules do not explicitly state if you have to declare all your combats at the start or if you go one at a time. I like to declare all of mine because I just feel like that's a little bit more fair, yo. I don't know. So we're going to go in here. All these dudes. Look, there's Angron, y'all. And then up in here, one of these. touches both. So it's this one up top, I think. They both touch that one. Yeah, so they're going to go into there. Not there. And then let's get the Death's Head Titan Legion up in the mix, right? Let's try that. Okay. So literally, this is going to be our first turn. We're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks, y'all. All right? So down here, we're going to calculate our defense first because it's going to be easier, right? So we got a 4 from this dude and a 3 from this dude. That's 7, y'all. We're doing math now. You know what I'm saying? And then 7 times 2, what's the word? 14. You heard it. Over here, we got some Minotaurs. They're 5. This Chaos Warband's a 4. That's 9. 3 from the Cultists is a 12, y'all. More Minotaurs, right? 17. Then I got a Slaanesh Beast Rider. He's 4. That's bringing it up to 21. And then 3d6 for this. So 21 plus 3d6, y'all. Oh, he's shit, man. Look at that. 9. 21 plus 3 plus 9 is 30. All right? So 30, 14, and 30. 14 goes into 30 what? 2 times, right? We always round down in this game. So we're going on the 2-to-1 table. And I'm going to use this white dice for my attacks so y'all can see. 2-to-1. A 6. -1 because they're all attacking across the river, y'all. That gives us a 5. DR. Defender routed. 1 defending counter is eliminated and any survivors must retreat. Up to 3 attacking counters with a movement value of 2 or more may advance into that area. Say word. So one of these dudes has to die, right? It's going to be this guy because he can't retreat anyway. So this dude has to retreat. He's going to go. He just has to go into an adjacent square that he can move into. So he's going to move up into here. And then this gets destroyed as soon as people retreat out of it. And then I can move in up to 3 counters with a movement value of 2 or more. So I only have 1 here. He is a 2 or more. And then these Slaanesh Beast Rider dudes are a 3 or more. So look at that. Look at that. The pleasure god is across the river. You know what I'm saying? Stacking limit in this game is 3, by the way. All right. Up here, the 4th Imperial Guard Army has a 4 defense. The Border Defense Force, again, is a 3 times 2, 14. You picking up a theme? All right, here we got a Chaos Warband that's a 5. Some Minotaurs that's a 5. And then a Demon Horde, yo. So 10 plus 3d6. Uh-oh, much better. Look at that. That's 10. So that's 20 out of that stack. 10 for these Chaos War Machines brings us to 30. Plus 3 is 33. And the Chaos Squats are giving us 2 more is 35. Up here we have Angron. He's a 0, but he allows us to reroll. So 35. These Juggernauts are 6. That gives us 41. Then we have these World Eaters are 9. That's 50. And then 59. So 59 into 14 is almost 4 times, yo. So it's going to be 3-to-1. And we got Angron, so we can re-roll. That's -1 because we're all coming across the river. So that would be a 2. And that would be EX. That would be no bueno. We don't want that. That would be an exchange. Each stack would lose a guy. Uh-oh. There's Angron re-rolled it, and it's a 2. So each stack, it's both sides must lose 1 counter from each stack, and any surviving defenders must retreat. Up to 3 counters with a movement value of 2 or more may move into the area that was occupied. So they're going to lose this border defense guy. They'll lose this fortification because this dude has to retreat, and he's going to retreat into here. Okay. Now this stack's going to have to lose a guy. They will lose, they'll lose this Minotaur. He'll die. And then up here we got to lose 1. We'll lose this janky Chaos Cultist. And then up here we got to lose 1. But what you can do is, only the Space Marines can flip. So you'll see that normally these dudes are 952. You can flip them over and they're a 512. So we'll just take a hit on our World Eaters. And then we can move 3 counters up into here. So let's go 1, 2, 3. And Angron never counts towards stacking limits, so he's going in there too. That means these guys stay back here. Okay? All right, we're making progress. We're across the river, yo. All right, up here, we're going to have a 14 again. You picking up the theme? It's all the same on the first turn. 14, and then over here, we got 10 from the Death's Head's Titan Legion. Then we got 2 from some janky cultists, and then 10 is 22. And then we have 6. 6 is 12, so that's 34. And 4 more is 38. So 38 into 14 only goes twice. So 2-to-1 table. Let's roll it. -1. Uh-oh. A 1. That is bad. Attacker stopped. 1 attacking counter from each stack is eliminated. Well, the Death's Head shit the bed. All right, these cultists are going to pay the iron price. And, so is my man right here, the Chaos Warband. All right. Up top here. 5. I got some Chaos Cultists. I got some Trolls. Some Beasts of Nurgle. I love the old school art too. These are all the pictures on here are from back in the day, like the epic deployment cards and stuff. So, all right, 552. That's 12, 16, and 5 more is 21 plus 3d6 for the Demon Horde. 21 plus 9, 30. And they're all attacking up here where it's only a 6. So 6 goes into 30 how many times, y'all? Come on, do the math with me. That's right, 5. So it's 5-1, -1 to the dice. Oh, hit. Oh, shit. Totally just hit the camera. Y'all check my roof out, right? Damn, y'all. We're going to leave that in there. I'm going to leave that in there because I don't even give a shit. So, all right, 5-1. I'll try not to do that again. Make y'all all sick in the vomitorium. 3. DW. Defender withdrawals. All defending counters must retreat. Boom, 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 boom. Guess what? They can't retreat, y'all, because they got a 0 movement. So they're dead. And then anybody can move in there that's speed 2 or more. But you know what? Papa Nurgle ain't 2 or more. Papa Nurgle's slow. We got everybody with 1s, y'all. Everybody with 1s. All right. So that, excuse me. Just getting over being sick, y'all. Oh, goddamn kids. My wife's been all over the place. She's been in like all these different countries recently. So I feel like she brought back God only knows what kind of crud. So, movement. Now they go to the movement phase, y'all. We can move any number of squares equal to our movement. But remember, I can't mix, and I can't ignore the stacking limit of 3. So we lost some dudes up in the mix here. So we should add some guys into here. Let's move these Beastmen forward. And then let's do some Chaos Androids. Everybody likes some Chaos Androids. And some shitty Chaos Cultists. And then we'll actually move them squats back up there. And then down here I can move a dude. So let's move 1 guy into here. And then 1 guy into here. And then over here, let us move all these Beastmen and Chaos Androids and shit right there. And then up here. These guys can now move even though they attacked. So they will move into here. And these guys will move into there. All right. Then we would check supply. But since it's the first turn, I know I can trace a path back. So I'm not concerned about that. Technically, I could have moved these dudes forward, but I feel like doing so will expose them greatly to a counterattack. So we're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. So that would be their first turn. Then we would flip over this one. Movement and then combat. So, let's see. Do we have anybody to move? We do have some guys to move. You know why? Because the Space Wolves are going to launch a counterattack. Ow! For the wolf time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let's fucking go here. So they're going to move there. These dudes, Rough Riders, mount up, you know what I'm saying? They can go 3. They're going to go up top here. Try and smash those dudes. And then this guy can move 2. He's a tank company. Big old shadow sword in the mix. He's going to move up to there, y'all. All right. Now it's a combat phase, friends. So we got to decide, do we want to attack with these dudes? I think we might. I could go 6 on 5, 9. Nah, it's still light. Probably should have came across the river here. But Angron is too much to pass up. You know what I'm saying? My Space Wolves have a 16. These dudes have 5, 3, 1. So they have a 9. 9 into 16. Only 1. Only 1. Where'd that white die go? Oh, it's in the box. All right, they're going to do it. So 9 into 16. Even. Let's see what we can do. Oh, out of the box. This video, shit. A 1. Oh, no. Attacker routed. 1 counter from each attacking stack is eliminated and any survivors must retreat. Oh, no. One of my Space Wolves flips over and they go back. They got served the justice. Up here, Rough Riders and Friends. I got 8 plus 6 is 14. And over here, they only have 7. So that's 2 to 1. 2 to 1, a 3. EX. Exchange. Both sides lose 1 counter from each stack. And any surviving defenders must retreat. So over here, let's get rid of the 2nd Brigade of Rough Riders. Oh, no. And then over here, get rid of these Chaos Cultists. Then they would have to retreat. But they have nowhere to retreat to, so they would be destroyed. Which sucks. Yeah. Yeah. That's something I forgot about right there. So, maybe next time we'll be better on that. Okay. Well then. Let's begin. These dudes can move in here too. So they will, as a matter of fact, move up to the river. Yup. Let's do it. Then you would flip your 2nd card. Boom, boom. Chaos, combat, and movement. All right. They're attacking these dudes here. These guys can't attack because remember, you can only attack adjacent. So, and then these guys would attack here across the river. And then these dudes are attacking here. And, all right, let's do it. So here I got 8 plus 3d6. And then 8 more, 16. 21 plus 3d6 down the bottom. Boom, boom. Uh-oh. Weakest demon horde ever. Snorting way too much blow and finger banging each other. Only a 3, yo. That is so heinous. So that brings them up to, what do they have? They had 21. So they got 24. That's pretty bad. And these dudes have a, uh-oh, that's right. They got bigger. Uh-oh. These Slanish dudes are about to get their dicks kicked in here. 8 and 11. They got 22. So it's going to be 1 to 1 even. Oh, no. Oh, Oh, no. They are not all across the river, so there is no -1 to that. So it's 1-1, and the 2 is attacker stopped. 1 attack encounter from each is eliminated. Let's get rid of those cultists, and let's get rid of these minotaurs. Strong stand by the Imperial Army. You know what I'm saying? Or was it just a foolish attack by the narco hordes of Slaanesh? All right, up here I got 6, 12, 16, 18, 28, 38 against 14. All right. So 2-1. Uh-oh. Attacker stopped. Boom. 1 from each. More cultists. And this time it'll be the Chaos Beast, man. The Death's Head Titan Legion is a pile of dog shit. But whatever. I digress. All right. So, Chaos Squats. Chaos Cultists. We're at 4, 7, 11, 16 plus 3d6. Let's see if Papa Nurgle's better. Oh, he's 9. So that's 25 total. Against 6 and 2 is 8. So 3 8s is 24. So it's going to be 3-1. Oh, -1 because they are indeed all across the river again. So this is the weird circumstance where it goes from defender withdrawals to defender routed, even though it's a lower dice number. So yeah. One defender counter is eliminated and any survivors must retreat. So, do I want to flip that? I could flip that. Keep him and the Rough Riders alive. Yeah, let's do that. He loses half his fighting power, but whatever. Who cares? And none of these dudes can move in because they're all slow donkeys. You know what I'm saying? So that is that. All right. Check supply for my Chaos dudes. They're all good. I'm sorry, not check supply. Now it's movement. My bad. Now they can move. All right, let's go like this. We can move through one another. 1, 2. So these disc riders move 4, and this Chaos Warband moves 2. So I'm going to move them together. It's a little risky because these dudes could attack them, but I feel like nobody's moving out of this, right? That would be just lunacy. So these dudes all move 2. So 1, 2. They're coming down here. No, they can't go that far. Well, they can, but they'll just get trapped. So they'll go there. And then we're going to move some dudes in here. We're going to move these guys. Let's move that dude in there. And these guys will go here. These dudes will go here. And these beastmen will just shuffle up there. You know what I'm saying? All right. Then I would check supply. The only one you would really look for is this dude because he's pretty far out. So yeah, we're good to go. Imperium. They are doing building and movement. Now the building phase. Oh, excuse me. I'll need to wet the whistle. The building phase is reinforcements. And the way you do that is you get 1 point for every defense value of your factories and hives. At the beginning of the game, since Chaos doesn't have any, it is 20. So you have 20 points to buy units, and then there is a build point table. Rough Riders, Hive Gangs, Imperial Guard. You can rebuy fortifications, tank divisions, you name it, y'all. And technically, it's any counters that are available in the pool, and that includes counters that have been destroyed. However, my own little house rule for the Imperium is that I like to use all the original counters first and then go through them. So, we're going to buy some dudes, y'all. So, we're going to buy 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks. which the tanks are 3 points each. So that's 12. All right. And then we're going to buy 2 Rough Riders, who are 1 point each. That's 14. And then I'm going to buy 3 Imperial Guard army units. They're 2 each. That's 20. All right. And then we have our reinforcement tracks. So you immediately put them down here and then move them 1. And you can put them on any factory or hive that you're not violating the stacking limit. So Imperial Guard dudes go here on slot 2. Who else goes there? Rough Riders, right? Yeah, Rough Riders go there too. And then tanks and fortifications go there. And then they all slide down 1. That being that if you buy hive gangs, they then go on the board the turn you buy them, which is pretty cool. Now I don't have an attack because I did building and movement, so I can move some dudes. Now I'm thinking these guys only have 1 movement. They're kind of trapped there. They're gonna start to get surrounded, which means if they get surrounded there, they will be destroyed. So I think what I want to do, these guys can move 3. I'm going to move these guys here. 1, 2. They're going to move back into here. And, they'll move back into there. And then this tank can move 2. He is going to move in here with the Space Wolves up the defense. And honestly, that's the only moving I want to do. All these defense forces have 0s anyway, so all these other guys have 1s. And you got to be very careful moving them because they're going to get trapped out here. And then they're going to get waxed. You know what I'm saying? So, my friends, in a nutshell, that is 1 turn of the Chaos War Battle for Armageddon. And you can see that my Chaos side rolled kind of shit, but they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 more turns to do it, y'all. 7 more turns to do it. So what do we think? You think they can do it, y'all? You think they can do it? I don't know. We would rinse and repeat. So, my friends, remember, be good to one another. Do what you feel.